Good morning to all. Greetings from SEG CAD Solutions. In this video, we will complete answering the questions of the last webinar. Let's discuss the points that we received. How to make a flip for the tube bundle and the tube bundle arrangement. How to change the units of measurement. How to make a sub-nozzle. And how to create an earthing lug to a saddle. Is there any options to create a spherical cone, add part to SEG bill of material, and what are the available types of TEMA floating head? Let's start with the sub-nozzle. Here, if we come back to SEG here, we create a shell. This shell includes a nozzle with a flange. This model right here. Now we would like to add another sub-nozzle to this nozzle and add a coupling or weld on it. So let's come back to SEG, and from here we will select the external connection of the nozzle, and from here let's add a shell, and let's add a connection point, for example. That's the name of this one. And for this shell course we will select a type suits this option. Here we will select a connection point for nozzle as a pipe and define this pipe as 24 inches with a scalable 40 and save this one. Now we have an if you take a look to the image on the right side, it's not a real element, which is just a connection. We can use it to add a nozzle on shell. So let's select this type, and from here let's add another nozzle, which N2 for example. And from here, let's select a nozzle type to be a long weld neck nozzle and change the rating, the size, and the location. Regarding to the location, if we take a look here, we need to make a look at the location on the negative side, not on the positive side. Here we need to make the location of this nozzle greater than this value, okay, to be located here on the pipe. So let's come back to SEG, and from here let's define this location with that value, but we will make it with a negative value. Remember this, we will make it with a negative value. And let's define the projection of this nozzle and click save. Now if we click start and come back to Autodesk Inventor, sorry. Now we have a new nozzle connected to the shell, but you can figure that the size of this nozzle is a little bit big, so we can increase the projection of this nozzle or minimize the size of this nozzle. So let's minimize the size of this nozzle and save it and click run. Like that. Okay, so we create a new nozzle located from the facing of this one. So if we measure from here to the center of this one, now we have that value, the location of this nozzle. Let's add another weld on it, for example. So you'll select the same connection point, which is the shell type, and from elements let's add a coupling nozzle. And from here we will select as a half coupling, select rating and the size, location, and the orientation, projection, and let's click save. Now let's run. Now we have this half coupling here, and you can add a connection to this half coupling. For example, let's select this one, and from here let's select a pipe, and let's select this pipe as a threaded pipe from the two sides. So let's select this pipe, make it from 2 inches and the length of this one and the thread length, and you could add other bars like T, for example. And for this T, we will make it a socket weld T. Select the rating, size, and orientation, and if we click assembly, now you will get a connection for this coupling, a pipe connected to the coupling directly. After that, socket weld T, like that. So you can make many different shapes. Okay, but we should make it threaded. But for example, we make it as a socket weld, just an example. And from this point, you can create many different shapes like that. Another question: how can we add a tailing lug or earthing lug for this saddle? There are two options. The first option, if this element exists in the external library of SEG, or it's not exist. If it's not exist, for example, you will create it manually and add it to your model. After that, by using some steps, you will add it to SEG bill of material. And we will do that right now, but by using the SEG external library. If you open new from Autodesk Inventor, you can figure that you have SEG item template, and inside the accessories, you can figure that you have bend tube, clip, earthing lug, eye bolt, some attachments, and bolts, jack bolt, U-bolt, stud bolt, some flanges, and rolled sections. If we select the accessories and select earthing lug, for example, and if we open it here, now we have this an external element as a lifting lug, and if you from view, we will open the iLogic browser and open the form of this element to modify it. Here you have the ability to select between two types of earthing lug with an external extended blade like this, and you can change the length of the earthing lug, the width, the thickness, hole diameter, and hole offset, the material of this one, and you have the ability to add chamfer to the edge or not. Here you have the ability to control the chamfer value and the part number. Let's give this part with the part number as 50 and the description as earthing lug. Let's save this part. If you click on save from here, you will not take any response or receive any response. You should save this element or this part from SEG. So we will select that one, and from here we will select one of those which save active document, which is this one. And if you come back to Autodesk Inventor here, you configure that SEG detected that it's a part, and from here you can name it as the earthing lug, and you can save it external parts. And save the earthing lug here. Okay, now we have this element. Now we will add it to this model. So from assembly, we will add the external part, which is the earthing lug. After adding it, we will make the constraints. Now we will select this surface, or that surface, for example, and let's make this one also from here with 300 millimeters and offset from here to there, this 50 millimeters, for example, and click OK. Now we have this earthing lug on the model, and if we make a drawing for this one, we will get this one, but it's not included yet on SEG bill of material. Here we would like to add this earthing lug to the bill of material. From here we will select extra bill of material and select the vessel. Okay, after that we will fill those data. So let's come back to SEG, to Autodesk Inventor, and open the earthing lug, and from here we will open the properties of this element, which is technical characteristics, and the description and the part number. So let's select the technical characteristics of this element, and from here let's add this element. Let's select this one. The part number is 50. Quantity we have just one, and the technical characteristics we will add it here. And for the description, we will select this description and add it here on the description. Define the material of this part and define the weight per kilogram and part name, part number, no problem. And if you would like to add remarks, let's save this one and update. Now we have this element here. If you would like anytime to make a change, just make your edit and click update. Now if we close this, you can figure that we have this new element here after adding it to the SEG bill of material. Now if you create your drawing, it will be exported to a drawing. Another question, which is how to add a conical head to the vessel. Here if we add a head to this model, if we open this type of head, you can figure that we have more than 15 types of head, like ellipsoidal head and ellipsoidal head with crown and knuckle radius, true spherical head, standard cone, diffuser head, convex head, and the image of the head on the right hand side, hemispherical head and hemispherical head with negative straight flange for division to many types. Regarding to the conical head, if we select cone head with neck at the end, this type of head includes a crown and knuckle radius, so you can select this type for the conical head. Another type, cone with closed end, like this type of conical heads. Another type which is cone head, like that. And there are two types, another types, cone from plate and standard cone. From here, if you add a cone, for example, and select this one, you can select between centric cone, okay, and eccentric cone. And you have the ability to make it from one piece or more than one piece. And you have the ability to add standard reducer, like that. And in the standard reducer, you have standard cone and standard eccentric cone. Okay. Another question regarding to changing units. For changing units, you can change the units of your SEG model from the setting of the equipment itself. We take a look to the setting, and from here you can change the units of the model. For example, if we take a look to this saddle dimension or the shell dimensions, for example, for the shell, you can figure that the inside diameter, all of those dimensions are in millimeter. So if we select the setting, and from here, let's convert the units to inches and click Save. Now let's come back to the shell. You can figure that the dimensions, all dimensions, shall be converted to inches. Okay, but those dimensions in the inventor model, you can make it in millimeter or inch. It's up to you. For example, here, if we open the assembly of the equipment and come back to the model here, if you open the you open tools, and from the document setting, you will select the units. From here, you can change the units that you would like to make your document. For example, if you would like to make it inch or input, for example, just modify it. So any time you would like to measure something like that, you can get it in inches. Okay. Regarding to the drawing, if you would like to create your drawing in inches or in millimeter, here from the setting tab, you will open the border reference. From here, you can figure that you have SEG in English units, and Okay, and now let's create the drawing for this equipment. Let's create drawing and let's modify some dimensions like add a bill of material, and let's click create. Now after finishing the drawing, if we add any dimension, you can figure that it will become in millimeter or inches directly, like that. So let's make it in diameter. So if you would like to make it in inches and other style, just select like this or select it linear like this, so you can convert it in foot and inches. Okay, by the template drawing itself, because it includes the dimensions in that format. So if we select this one as linear like this, so you can convert it easily. Another question regarding to the direction of the tube bundle, how to flip the tube bundle direction. Here you can make that by changing the equipment direction itself. From here, we will select the setting, and from the equipment itself, let's make it from right to left. So in this case, you will flip the direction of the rear side, shell side, and front side. You will make the front side on the left hand, on the right hand side instead of left hand side. Now if we click save and let's click assembly again here. Now we will update the model of the equipment, and you can figure that the direction of the baffles comes on the other side. Let's make it again on this side by flipping the assembly direction. Let's make it from left to right again and click save. And by assembly, you can change the arrangement of baffles to make it on the right side. That's for all tube bundle elements, not for baffles. Another question regarding to the available types of floating head according to TEMA. The available type is style A only right now, and our technical team will add the other types inshallah, but this type is the most common type of the floating head. We hope that we cover all of your questions. The first part of our video includes some questions and we answer it. The first question was drilling, how to make a nozzle opening, and we discussed that in deep, and how to make a bevel and chamfer for the weld preparation, how to add attachment to a cone. In the second video we discuss how to make a flip for the tube bundle, how to change the units of measurement in the drawing and in the inventor and SEG, how to create a sub-nozzle, how to add an earthing lug to a saddle, and how to add a cone, the different types of cone, how to add a new part in SEG bill of material manually, and the available types of TEMA floating head. Thank you for your time, and we hope to cover all of your questions, and if you have any questions, kindly feel free to contact us. Thank you for your time.